Well, Bill Belichick might not be as sold on Jarrett Stidham as we thought. The NFL Network is reporting that the Patriots plan to use a premium draft pick on a quarterback and that Brian Hoyer will likely be the starter next season in New England. So, Shannon, can you see Brian Hoyer starting for the Patriots next year?
No. He has, I say that, Skip, but he has started 38 games in his career. And for any report to come out of New England and say they know what New England's going to take is not true. They keep it as close to the vest. I have yet to hear somebody get it right. Well, New England's going to take this guy, and they actually take that guy. So nobody knows what New England, but trust me, Skip Bayless, Coach Belichick did not give Tom Brady an extension to have him leave in order to bring Brian Hoyer back. So let me get this right. We knew Tom Brady was going to leave, and in the process, yeah, we got Stidham in the wings, but Cleveland's going to cut Brian Hoyer. We're going to re-sign Brian Hoyer, and Brian Hoyer's going to start. Do you see how asinine and how ridiculous that sounds, Skip Bayless? I believe Jarrett Stidham will start. Now, if he falters, I don't believe Coach Belichick will have an opportunity, don't have a problem inserting Brian Hoyer. But I believe Stidham gets every opportunity to start this year.
On that, we agree. The player he now calls Stid, nicknamed him Stid, not Stiddy, but Stid. I believe he wants that player, a fourth-round pick 2 years ago, to be his next Tom Brady, the former sixth-round pick. I'm with you about Brian Hoyer. This is his 10th NFL stop. This is his third time around with New England. It's hard for me to believe that was the grand plan. It's also hard for me to believe, but sometimes Belichick can have an ace or two up his sleeve, that he's going to figure out how to have a premium pick to use on a quarterback of note that could be their starting quarterback next year or at least the next. I don't think Tua will fall to number 23, where Belichick sits right now. I don't think Jordan Love will fall that far. Maybe Belichick has fallen in love with another quarterback, second, third round, but it feels like it's Stid or bust next year, and I'm not seeing him he doesn't have the draft capital to maneuver up the first round to get one of the star quarterbacks.
Skip, look, Jacoby Brissett started, but that was out of necessity. Tom Brady was suspended. Jimmy Garoppolo had gotten injured. The likelihood, since we've known Coach Belichick as a head coach, he does not like starting rookie quarterbacks unless he absolutely, positively have to. So I believe this is a situation that Stid will get an opportunity to play.
That's it for Undisputed, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back Monday, same time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The Herd is coming up next with Colin Cowherd and Joy Taylor. Have a great weekend, everyone. All right, guys, it has been 20 years, but Tom Brady still has not forgotten about being passed up in the draft. He posted a list of every quarterback taken before him with the caption, "Nope, I haven't forgotten." So, Shannon, why? Are you surprised by this?
No, the great ones always remember being slighted. As I mentioned earlier, Skip, you remember Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech. But this is classic Tom Brady. Jenny, 1 minute the guy doesn't care about his legacy, and the next minute he's telling you about stuff that happened 20 years ago. I'm glad this is only unique to Tom, because every time I try to tell you, Tom Brady's just like everybody else. Shannon Sharpe, Shannon, what you don't understand is Tom Brady is unique. He doesn't have feelings. He doesn't have emotion. Bull jive. Everybody, if you weren't the first pick in the draft, you feel slighted. Let me tell you a story. Jenny, you and Skip, I don't even know if you know who Fred Smith is. Fred Smith was a guy that wrote a term paper. He turned the term paper in. He said, I have an idea. He said, because, packages, they take so long to get there. I believe we can take packages, send them to a central location, and get them out through by plane service and get them next day or 2 day. The professor gave him a C. Lo and behold, Fred Smith started FedEx. That motivated him. That drove him. But Tom Brady is different. Oh, Tom Brady, stuff that bothers everybody else, it doesn't bother Tom Brady. Skip Bayless, at some point in time, you're going to have to agree with me. I've never been, and I'm never going to be as great as Tom Brady on the football field. But this notion, because I don't know what makes this man tick, is sadly mistaken. Because Shannon Sharpe was a 7th round draft pick, 192. In the 7th round in 1990. And I remember Jackie Harris, and I remember Jesse Anderson, and I remember Eric Green, and Alexander Wright, and Reggie Rembert, and Mike Bellamy, and Fred Barnett, and Williams. And I remember all those guys that went before me, and I never forgot it. And I remember Buddy Ryan, who was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Skip, came and worked me out personally. I took my shirt off. He said, son, if you're available when we draft, we're going to draft you and we want you to play without your shirt because you'll scare hell out of all the other DBs. They passed me. Not once, not twice, but 4 times, Skip. So how do you think I forgot that? Never. And it drove me, just like it drove Tom, it drove him. It drives him. Skip, you never forget being slighted. I don't care if you're in a relationship. Oh, you broke up with me? I ain't gonna get even with you. I'm just gonna get somebody that looks a little better and more successful than you. That's how I'm gonna get back at you. And that's how I did it. I got back at all those teams that passed on me. We won Super Bowls and I went to the Hall. How you like me now?
Well, I don't love it that you continue to put yourself in the same sentence with Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. He is the GOAT of quarterbacks. And the point of this topic is that he's almost 43 years of age, and he's still haunted and driven by the 6 quarterbacks picked above him. And he can rattle off their names. And by the way, Alexander Wright was a wide receiver. Are you saying wideouts pick above you? I mean, there'd be dozens of those, I would think, unless you were to do tight
but I'm saying
whatever.
But go ahead, Skip.
Okay, so the point is that he can rattle off names that nobody can even remember, such as Giovanni Carmazza, who played he didn't even make the team. The 49ers took him in the 3rd round. He couldn't even make the team, couldn't even play in the league. And when you look at the totality of the 6 picked above him, Chad Pennington was not bad, and he lasted 11 years, and he was 44-37 as a starter. Not bad. He was 2-4 in the playoffs. Not terrible. Mark Bulger was pretty good. He actually made 2 Pro Bowls. His starting record wasn't great. It was 41-54. He was 1-2 in the postseason. But if you add up all the records of all those quarterbacks, Tom Brady has already won 157 more games than all 6 of them combined, and still counting, because I think he's going to win 12 more games next year. But the point is, it's a little nuts. It's a little crazy. It's even psycho that you're still posting the names of those 6 guys and saying, nope, I haven't forgotten, as you approach age 43. And yet it relates to what I always call Tom during games. He goes psycho Tom. Sometimes I can't even recognize him because he loses it during games because he gets over emotional. He's gone off somewhere else competitively into some other dimension that is not the man next door, the nice, nerdy, cliche-ridden, lame dad next door. That guy gets left at home when he goes Psycho Tom during games. And Psycho Tom is still driven by 6 quarterbacks got picked above him, and he can still rattle off their names because he's obsessed with this. He plays possessed in ways that have shattered the mold. He is unique. We've never seen anything like this guy. I think he's going to be more driven than ever at age 43. And I do think a lot of the older players, including you, are a little bit jealous of him because he's actually had a rebirth at 43 and is talking about playing until he's 48. And I'm not going to bet against him because he's the one guy in sports outside of the days of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I don't bet against Brady just the way I never bet against Jordan. They're very similar, though very, very opposite. in how they come across off the field. But their competitive drive is the same, rare. We've never seen anything like either Jordan or Brady. And the brighter the lights, the bigger the moment, the better Brady has always been. Same for Michael. So now he's had a rebirth in Tampa with Bruce Arians and 5 weapons maybe, that he didn't have in New England last year. And he's on fire with it. He's trying to meet his new teammates virtually and get to know them, because he's going to show Belichick he was wrong too. It's Jordan-esque because, as we talked about earlier, Michael took the opportunity of his Hall of Fame speech to blast every person down the line who had doubted him or crossed him. And Brady's got a lot of that in him. I don't think he would do it in his Hall of Fame speech, but he's basically doing it on Instagram right here, right now, and reminding everybody, I'm still standing, and here I'm coming for you.
But I'm saying, but Brady doesn't have that emotions. He's different. So why would he do? But see, you keep telling me, Shannon, you can, and I'm not trying, and I made that abundantly clear. But he's playing, so whatever he uses to motivate him. But the problem that I have with you is that you won't acknowledge that Brady has the same feelings, the same emotions as all the other athletes. Just because you're great does not mean you don't have feelings. That's the point I'm trying to get to you. You refuse to acknowledge